I'd like to welcome everyone to today's webinar, where we're going to go over our new field operations interface for our SureView platform. My name's Simon Morgan. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at SureView. I'm based in our Tampa office. I'm joined today by my colleague, Tom Bradley. Tom, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Hi, everyone. I'm Tom. I'm the Technical Director here at SureView. I'm based out of the UK. I look after mostly the UK and kind of EMEA customers, as well as just really focusing in on the kind of technical side of the product, making sure it all fits what our customers really need for their use cases.
Great, thanks, Tom. Tom and I have actually been with the company almost about the same amount of time. So I think we've been together and working together for about 12 or 13 years. So we've got a lot of experience across a range of different situations and customers. So for those people that are joining that might not know too much about us, just really briefly, SureView, we're a software company, and we really do one thing, which was we build software that's open and easy to use for security command centers. We've been doing this for about 20 years, and we work with organizations large and small, from global enterprises to critical infrastructure to government agencies, and we support customers worldwide. We encourage you to, today's webinar is a short one. It's only 30 minutes. We just want to give you an overview of this new interface. So we encourage you to go to our website at sureviewsystems.com to learn more about our products. And also I'd like to encourage you to go check out some of our case studies. We have a number of case studies in a number of different industries that show some real world use cases about how people use our products. Earlier this year, we released our new subscription service, which is called SureView Operations, or Ops for short. It's an easy to use platform for coordinating the response to alarms and events in a command center. Today, what we're going to be going over is a new field operations module as part of this platform. It's the natural extension of that original service so that you can easily coordinate your field team and assets to assist you in response to alarms and events. So what we're going to do on the agenda today is we're going to go through this new field ops interface from the perspective of the command center, or the SOC. So an operator in the command center, how they see their team, how they coordinate with their team. We'll also be going through the mobile app, how that looks, how those people in the field are able to interact again back to the command center. And then we'll also be walking through a scenario of, we're going to use a medical event. Tom's going to walk us through an example of how, when responding to an event, you can easily coordinate with those team members. Hopefully towards the end, we'll just have a couple of minutes that we can take a few questions and answers. If you have a question, you can post a question in the chat or the Q&A interface of the webinar as we go through, and we'll try and address a couple of those towards the end. If we're not able to do all of the answers to the questions, we will be following up after the webinar. There'll be a copy of this that you'll be able to watch it again if you needed to, and we'll address any of those additional questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into it. So let me just clear out this screen here. I can. There we go. So what we're going to start with, as I said, is the field ops interface from the perspective of the command center. I'm an operator sitting in the command center, and I want to see where my team is, what assets are available to me, what their statuses are. So the main thing you'll notice when you come first into this interface is that it's very map driven. So the map takes up almost 2/3 of the screen. We use Google Maps for this for a couple of reasons. One, it's very familiar to people, and that's kind of a big design principle for us at SureView, is that we try to keep all of our interfaces very simple and easy to use. It's important in a crisis that people aren't having to try and juggle technology. They're utilizing things that are simple and easy to use. So we use Google Maps so that most people pick it up and they know exactly what it's all about. I can flip between the map view and the satellite view. I can turn on labels, etc. So it's all very intuitive to what people are familiar with using. The interface itself on the map allows me to go and plot lots of different objects on the map. I can plot, I can track mobile users, which I'll show you the mobile app in a moment. I can track assets, and assets could be people or objects. I can, even if I've plotted cameras into the system, I can bring up a quick view of a camera so I can get a quick snapshot of what's going on, at a glance. So there's lots of different objects that I can put in here. Let me go into a little bit more depth on each one of those. So this purple one, I've programmed in a number of mobile users. So in a second, I'm going to show you what the mobile app does. But what this is I'm tracking, I can see the real-time location of anyone that's using our mobile app. And they could be a guard or an officer, or they could be anyone in your team if they're using the mobile app. And obviously, as they move around, their position will change on the map. So in real time, I will get those updates and know exactly where they are. But that's an option. It's an option for people to be able to use the mobile app. It's not a requirement. You can also plot you can plot assets or static users on the map. It's very common. It's very common in security operations that you have guards or officers that are using traditional radio systems. I can plot them on the map as well. So you'll notice that I have a couple of people in here like Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 that are using radios. Now, these people's location is not being automatically updated because they don't have an app. They just have a traditional radio. But I can still move their location around. So if they were to call in and say, hey, this is Alpha 2, I'm moving to the corner of Florida and Kennedy, I can just move that on the map. Everyone that is in SureView would then see the updated location for Alpha 2. So no matter whether you're getting real-time alerts or real-time location information from someone that's using our app and it's updating every couple of seconds, or if you manually are moving static people that are using the maps, you can do that. You can do that all from the interface here. Now, your static assets don't have to just be traditional guards and officers. I mean, we've made this very flexible so that, I mean, if you wanted to plot an asset that's important to you, like a vehicle, I did a delivery van, or it could be an executive. I want to know where a specific executive, maybe it's their executive house for protection. I've put a lobby attendant in here. The beauty of our system is that what we've done is created a customizability of this interface so that you can tailor this to your operation. So in here, what I've done is I've created labels for each one of these assets. So I've created officer mobile, officer radio, delivery van, stationary radio. This is not SureView, this is not Simon, this is, you would program what you want to call your various objects that's relevant to your organization. So it's very flexible. I can change the colors of those pins so that I have kind of the ultimate flexibility into how I want to map my organization into field ops. This also goes, this also allows us to customize the statuses over there on the right. So if I want to have different statuses for different assets, I can do that as well. So for instance, why would you want to do that? You know, guards and officers might have a very prescriptive statuses, you know, available, in route, arrived, on scene, investigating, those types of nomenclature. If you had a vehicle, maybe I want to have, like I've done an example there, like checked out. You know, if I had executive protection, they might be on the move. I can tailor my statuses to the type of the asset that is available. So not only can I tailor the assets and the objects that I put on the map, I can also tailor the statuses that I apply to each one of those assets. As you notice, when I went through the interface, it's really simple to use for an operator. I simply click on someone's name and it will send to the map directly on that asset. So if I went and clicked on Tom, it would send to the map on Tom. Now, Tom currently, as he mentioned, you know, he's in the UK, so he's actually in Cardiff right now. So that's his real-time location in Cardiff. But I want to go back to Tampa and I want to see where Simon is. I click on Simon and I'm immediately brought to Simon, and I can see everything that's happening around where Simon is in downtown Tampa. Now, below here, we have we're able to update and provide additional information and interact with some of these assets. So I'm able to change the status of an asset. So I can go down here and say Simon is actually en route, heading to event. And when I type or update any of these entries, what this will actually do is it will send a notification out to every other user, whether they're on the mobile app. One came on my watch just now. Everyone will get a notification that a status change has occurred. I can do those status changes and those notes both for a radio or a static asset, like the traditional ones, or I could even, if someone's using the mobile app, you can change your status in there as well. But perhaps I'm driving and I can't do that, and I'm calling into the SOC. I can do it on their behalf if I need to. If they're using the mobile app, I can also optionally go in and I can chat with them at any time. So I don't have to look up for their number or anything like that. I can just immediately start chatting with Simon and we can go back and forth really simply from there. The final thing in here for the main operation field ops interface for the command center is that, like everything in SureView, we track every action that the operator takes. So there's a history here of all the status changes that I've made for all the I have made or anyone else in the team has made is all available here. That's really helpful if, for instance, I missed a notification, I didn't see it, it popped up and I missed it. I could go over and check that history over here. I also could drill into the specifics. So if I want to go down and filter and just see the history that's happened with Simon, you can see all of that history there as well. And then that's obviously later available for reporting. So that is a quick overview of the field ops interface from the desktop, from the command center. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip over to the mobile app. The mobile app here, I'm representing this in a browser window rather than trying to hold my phone up to the camera, which wouldn't really work. The main thing with the mobile app is that it's designed to provide the field teams with a very similar view as the command center person. So except it's obviously in the palm of your hand. Outside of the functionality that I'm about to show you that you can do in the app, the one key thing that the app does is that it tracks the real-time location of the user. So as long as they log in, they don't even have to use any of this functionality per se in the app. It already delivers value to the rest of the team because we know where Simon is, we know where Tom is, based on them just using the app. It also provides those push alerts. So I get notifications when status changes or things are happening out in the field. I just get those pushed to my phone, and I don't have to do anything else. So regardless of all that functionality, just having the app gives you that benefit of that real-time tracking and those alerts. You'll notice that it's the similar map interface that you saw on the desktop. You can immediately see all the assets. So just by tapping on an asset, I can see that vehicle 1's checked out. I can, Alpha 2's investigating, Alpha 1's on patrol. So that's just really at a glance. I also can, if I click this little button down the bottom here, I can also see that same table view of the entire organization and what everyone that's currently online, what their current status is and what they're doing. So just at a glance. I also can change my status. So there's a lot of information about me that I can change over here. So just by clicking on the little icon there, I can change my name. And why would I want to change my name? Well, maybe I'm using a call sign, Alpha 1, Bravo 2. I could go in and change my call sign for the day. I can change my status. So I can go in and say, I'm en route, heading to scene, whatever it is. I could also change if I could also assign myself to another asset. So you might want to do this with a vehicle or executive protection. So vehicle 1, I'm setting it to being checked out. I'm checking it out for the event at noon. When I send that update, that's going to update everyone in the system. They're going to get notifications. Again, I got one on my watch. It just came through, got one on my phone. And that's going to let everyone know that my status has changed, and so has the vehicle's status has changed. I can, from here as well, I can go ahead and open up a chat at any time. So an ad hoc chat, I just want to chat with Tom. I can just open up a chat at any time and, you know, begin talking with him without having to know how to text him or anything else. I think the last thing to really go over here on the mobile app is the ability for me to raise an alarm. So maybe I saw something and I want to send alarm into the command center. I can do that really simply from the app. You can program your own events in here. So you can, these are customizable by the organization. So these are not SureViews, these would be yours. So I program suspicious activity and medical event. And all I have to do is click one of these, hit confirm, that will raise an alarm up into the command center. And then I could add additional notes, or I could attach a image if I took a photo, etc. from here to give some more context to this event. But that's raised up an alarm so that Tom would be able to process that. And that's a really good segue right now. Is what we're going to do now is I've given you a bit of an overview of what happens in the command center from able to see everything and where everybody is. I have shown you what the mobile app basically looks like, what the person in the field would be looking at. What Tom's going to do now is I'm going to throw it over to him. He's going to process a real-time event in our response interface of ops. We're going to go through a medical event, and we're going to show that kind of interaction between the mobile app and responding to an alarm. So over to you, Tom.
Okay, thanks, Simon. Simon, you have disabled screen sharing. You'll need to let me share my screen.
I'm sorry, Tom. So
that's okay.
Hang on a second.
So while Simon's doing that, I'd say, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the perspective from an operator in the command center. So this isn't just a field ops user. This is somebody receiving alarms from all kinds of different security systems. But if we just bear with us just a moment, I should be able to share my screen as soon as that's been enabled.
If I could work it out, Tom, that would be great. I tell you what, Tom.
If this doesn't, why don't you open up on your screen, Simon, and we can talk through it.
Yeah, you can talk it through. So I'm going to go over to the alarm processing interface here. Walk me through it, Tom.
Okay, so the screen we're looking at the moment, this is the operator screen. We have the alarm queue on the left-hand side. Now, this is really bringing in alarms from, you know, everything from traditional security systems, access control, door force, camera alarms with person detected, with analytics. But it really can come from virtually any system out there, not just security. On the right-hand side, we have our map view. So just like the field ops, we want to make sure the operator can actually have a full overview of what's happening and where. So any alarms, any assets, any real-time kind of systems coming in. Now, for our example here, we're going to go and raise a medical event. Now, we'll raise this as a manual alarm. So the idea of this is somebody's called in a medical incident to the command center. So somebody's phoned it in. And as an operator, I can go in and I can raise a medical emergency. I can add in some notes about what actually has happened and what's been reported, and perhaps who requested it, so who called it in. Now, once we're done with this, we can just hit OK and go straight into the event and see what's happening. So 1 second. Okay, so the first screen here that Simon has, this is our kind of site area overview screen. We get more detail with the map, we get the alarm information, but most importantly, on the right-hand side, we have our dynamic action plan. So this is your standard operator procedures. This will adapt based on the type of incident, the priority, where it is. So it's always going to show you the procedures that's relevant. So in this case, it's a medical emergency, a slip and fall. We have actions here to take, such as, you know, notifying parties, describing the severity of the medical incident. You know, all of that's adapted based on what's going on. So one of the notes here we've got is notifying parties. So what Simon can actually do is look on the map and try and find a nearby mobile user or a guard and share that event. So that's what Simon's going to do now. And that will, if Simon switches over, that will actually pop up on his mobile and say that this incident has been shared, giving the location of where it is. Simon, do you want to? Yeah,
so I will have got a notification on my phone. Down in the right-hand corner here, you get a little notification that you have been shared. I have the option then to accept this or not. So there's a medical event. I can accept that. Once I do that, the beauty of me accepting that is that now I can see everything that's happened in this event so far, all of the actions that Tom was taking while he was processing it. So you can see that someone slipped and fell in the lobby, check to see if she's okay, blah, blah, blah. I can navigate to there, which would give me directions. Now I'm just across the road here, so I probably might not need directions. But if I was in a vehicle, maybe that would be helpful. So as I move closer to the event, it would track my my progress. I can also go in here and chat, and I can chat specifically on this event. So I can say to Tom in the command center, heading over there now, be there in 2 minutes. Okay, so I send that chat message in, and that will then send a notification into the response interface as a message up here in the response. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay. So now, while we're waiting for Simon the guard to arrive at location, we can chat back and forth. We can also go through the rest of the action plan and find out what kind of more details we might need to do. So we can, if we know what the severity is, we can tick through that. We can pull out details of the area if we need to call an ambulance. So Simon, if you can click on the Tampa office link on the top left, we can bring up the address, any key contacts, phone numbers. Really, the idea of all of this information is so that an operator never has to go away to another system. They don't have to go and get a folder from the shelf with some reference material. They don't need to go and open a Word document. They have everything they need to know about this location and what's happening right to hand. While this is also happening, it's a little difficult on a screen share, but on their second screen, they'll also automatically have any local nearby cameras. Just Simon, if you're able to kind of throw that over for just a second.
Sure, 1 second.
Say a bit easier when you have 2 screens normally. And the cameras, which Tom will bring on a second, is all based on the location data. So this comes up based on how near they are to the incident, but you can change it. So as an operator, you can go and if you find a key camera you want to expand, you can. If you need to look up a car park camera or whatever, you can just throw that into your media matrix and carry on. So you have that full picture. So when Simon's there and has gone through his action plan and called the ambulance, when you're finished with an event, so once this is all complete, so you've gone through all of your steps, everything's okay and being handled, you can actually kind of close out the incident and move on to your next alarm. So to do that, there's the end button over in the top right corner. Now that only actually gets enabled once you've completed all your action steps. We make sure that that's enforced. Choose a particular category, again, all customizable. So you set these category based on your own use cases, and operators can add extra notes as well. This really helps for when you're searching in your history for old events, when you're sending out automatic incident reports to stakeholders. This can actually provide all the steps and how it all was closed out at the end. But what you should see for an operator, there's only a few clicks to do here. We try to make this really quick, really easy, as long as Simon can type, to get you through this and get you back to the alarm queue. So this whole process can be done with very little training on an operator side and at speed. So your response times are quick. You can get through this instance and move on to the next one as you need to. And yeah, once you're done, you come back to your main screen and you see any other alarms that are in the queue ready to go. It's also worth noting this screen here is shared between all your operators with the appropriate permissions. So you can have multiple people working on different events at the same time, or even working together on one event. So if it's a more serious incident that needs, lots of people helping, you can have multiple operators in the command center talking to first responders, talking to your field operations team, kind of having that going back and forth. So we try to make sure everything can be shared fully on this. Now, sorry, I know that was very quick looking at the command center kind of operations screen, but I'm very aware that we only kind of have a half an hour window for this. But I think that covers the kind of the gist there, what we need to show.
Yeah, so what we've done here is originally we had a look at the field ops interface, which gives us that overview of all of my operations and where everybody's located throughout my organization and what their statuses are. So if I need to manage them, I can do that from here. We then were able to, go and have a look at the mobile app, and be able to track everything that was happening through the mobile app and communicate quickly back and forth between the command center. And then finally, to be able to handle that real-time event as we went through a medical situation, find someone nearby and bring them into that event. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so we wanted an opportunity to provide a couple of answers to any questions that anyone has raised. So Tom, do you want to see if there's any questions that we can answer and go over from there? You're muted, Tom.
Thank you. Just in case anybody doesn't know or isn't familiar with Zoom, if you kind of put your cursor over the window down the bottom, there's that Q&A section and chat. So if you have anything else to throw in quickly, you can put it in there. Though, of course, if you think of something tomorrow or later on, you can always talk to us directly. Emails are on the screen, and we can always help you afterwards, after this webinar as well. So yes, let's have a look at what we've got so far. So the first really obvious question here, how much does Field Ops cost?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So Field Ops is actually part of our SureView Operations subscription service, our SaaS. We license that per user, and so there's no additional cost for Field Ops. It's just part of the platform. The MSRP for that is $150 per user per month. A user is an operator or a manager or a supervisor. There's an additional, if you want to use the mobile app, the MSRP is $35 per month to use the mobile app. And we offer subscription services that are as a monthly charge or as an annual contract.
Okay, thank you. Next one is the mobile app. Does that support both Android and iOS or Apple?
Yeah, so both Android and Apple. So it's designed for, and it supports both the latest Android and iOS versions as well as the latest phones. You can get the app from the appropriate stores for each one of those platforms.
Okay, actually, so this one, can mobile officers using the app also see any nearby live cameras? Are they able to stream that, or is it just for talking back and forth?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I didn't show it in the demo, but there is the ability. There's a small little icon up there in the top that looks like our logo. They can click that and they can look and see at a glance any of the cameras that are programmed into the system. They can even favorite the cameras they like to see most of the time so that they can bring those up really quickly. So you can stream cameras that you've got programmed into the platform directly through the app. Any other questions, Tom?
Sorry, I got cut off there a little bit. Yeah, actually, I have a question here from Jack. Voice versus texting. So we showed the kind of text chat at the moment in the mobile. Yep. Jack wants to know what the options are around voice and audio.
So at the moment in the platform, we just support the ability to do texting back and forth between the platform. We have integrations with audio systems that we have done in the past, and we're looking on our roadmap about being able to obviously, be able to link into people's VoIP systems potentially. There is a way to have a quick link to make a call directly into the command center, but at the moment the support is for those text-based communications between the SOC.
Just to add to that as well, SureView in general, we make sure we have audio transmit kind of built into the command set of things like compatible intercoms and loudspeakers on site, so as well as the Field Ops, there's that kind of transmit down to the site area, depending on the systems that we're using, of course.
Anything else? Because we're just about running up to the end.
Right,
Tom?
Last one is kind of how long does it take to kind of get started, and what are the first steps there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have a fast track program. Actually, Tom leads a team that does this, and in about 20 days we can get people completely onboarded and in production use. And because it's a subscription service, there's no like IT projects that you have to spin up. It's really just the configuration of the workflows that you want to use for action plans and how you want to label your users, etc., that you're doing in those first 30 days. And they put together that program to assist people to get started. So in average, most people within a month are up and operational utilizing the platform. We're just ran up on our time, so if you do have any other questions about SureView, SureView Ops, or Field Ops, you can contact us directly. You can book a demo on our website, and please go check out those case studies there at sureviewsystems.com. We'll be sharing out this presentation to everybody that registered, as well as any questions that we weren't able to get to. We'll be sure to reach out to those people that asked them directly. Thanks very much for your time, and we look forward to talking to you soon.